Welcome back to my channel. My name is Despo, and today I want to talk about manifestation. So this video's title is Be Careful When Manifesting. Like, you have to keep caution when you're manifesting something into your life. Why do I say this? I learned how to manifest, the law of attraction and everything, but as I went on practicing it, I found myself in situations where sometimes I've manifested things that are good, and then sometimes I've manifested things that are not so good, or they first have to be bad for them to get better. And I think we don't think about this when we're manifesting. Like, they don't tell you, they don't give you certain precautions to take. So I'm mainly touching on the point that you have to be careful when manifesting, because you have to take care of yourself first, and then know what you really want before you actually manifest it or attract it into your life. Okay, so I'll be looking down in the notes while I'm talking to you. I have a few things I noted down. So remember, what you think as a man is what you attract, or what you think as a person is what you attract, right? So if I'm thinking like I have good vibrations and good accomplishments I want for myself, that's what I'm going to attract. But then if I actually have bad thoughts, negative thoughts and everything, that's what I'm also going to attract. So it's about, first you have to think about what is inside your mind. Are you thinking positively or negatively? Are you thinking of good things coming your way, or are you thinking of bad things or good things coming your way, but you're not taking precaution or thinking about, if I get this thing, how is it going to come into my life? Is it going to come into like a bad situation, and then that bad situation may lead into a good situation? Like, you have to think before you manifest. You have to think before you manifest, and you have to take care about it. Take care, like, and be mindful. So the first thing I would want to tell you is that be sure of what you want. So you have to be sure, like, for example, you have to be sure and say, I want to maybe get a new job, I want to get a new car, I want to get a new house, things like that, right? Or maybe you would say, I want to get a new phone. So when you want to get a new phone, for example, you don't just blab it out, because it's not a bad thing to blab out, but or to think about, but in which way are you going to get it? So you may be like, you want to get maybe the latest iPhone, or the latest Samsung, or the latest Infinix, but when you're thinking about this, you have to take caution, because you're like, okay, I may get it through working, so meaning when they pay me, I'll buy a new one, right? Or someone will buy it for me, or I will get a loan and buy things like that, depending on which way you want to get it. So this is what happened to me. Give you a little story. So I went to some place, and then I saw this phone. I had a Samsung then, but then I saw this phone, and when I saw this phone, it looked so nice, but it wasn't a Samsung. And I loved my Samsung so much, really. I actually really loved it. But I didn't think that I wanted a new phone, much less that one that I had touched, right? Because it wasn't mine, it was for someone else. And then I had just held it for that person. So what happened was, I touched the phone and then I looked at it. And I don't know what happened to me, but something from nowhere just came into my mind. I was like, wow, I love this phone, I would love to get it. But it wasn't something that I really, really want this phone. I really want to get it. And it wasn't even intentional. It was just like touching the phone. And then I just felt something. And even like when I tried to use it just a little bit. And then after some few months passed. But before those few months passed, I had forgotten about it. I had forgotten everything. Like, surely I had forgotten. And I didn't know this was going to happen to me. So one day I was heading back home, and then all of a sudden my bag is stolen by some people. And in that incident, I also fell down and got some wounds, right? And I was in so much shock. I was like crying because I had wounds and I didn't see all of this happening. I was so shocked, not happy, crying. And I'm like, oh my God, why did this happen to me today? What? And then when I got to realize later on, I'm like, what? And I was like, what? Oh my God, is this what I actually manifested in my life? And it made me unhappy in that moment when I realized that I had actually gotten this accident and everything. But later on, when I found out that I had actually indirectly manifested this into my life without realizing that it was going to not just harm me, almost lose my life, it was really bad for me. So you have to take caution when you're manifesting. You have to think through, you have to know, what do I really want? So I didn't need a new phone. In that moment when I manifested having that phone that I had touched, I didn't need a new phone. I felt what I had was enough. It was actually good and enough and worth it, right? But later on, just because I touched a phone and I liked the way it was, it didn't mean I needed it. But I do not know where the desire came from and how I just felt about touching the phone and everything. So your energy is also important, because when you're manifesting, your energy is usually high or low, like high vibrations or low vibrations. And I feel like my vibrations in that moment must have been really high, that I really appreciated the phone without realizing that I didn't need it and what I had was enough. So I got the accident, I lost my phone, I lost my other cards and everything. And I felt really bad about this. But when I think about it now, I'm like, I have to be more cautious when I'm manifesting, because my bag was stolen. I lost everything that was important to me just because indirectly I did manifest a new phone. So for me to realize that I actually manifested a new phone, and a phone that almost looked like the one that I had touched, I touched someone's phone. And later on, when I wanted to get a new phone, I was taken to go and buy a new phone. And then my relative was like, this is the phone I think is good for you, this is the phone that you should get, this is what it will be good, it will be good with everything, it will help you in everything you want, what like. And besides, if you're the first person touching the phone, that's also a good thing. It's going to be first hand for you, so it won't have any problems. You can stay with it for a very long time without complaining that, oh, it's fake or something happened. So I didn't know. But later on, when I got this phone, then that's when I realized that, oh my God, I did actually manifest having a new phone, and I did manifest this type of phone. And this is not what I really wanted to happen to me, because the way it came into my life, it was like I was about to lose my life, really. And I got wounds. I had to go to the hospital. I was feeling sad and everything. So you have to take caution when you're manifesting, and you have to be sure that when you manifest, you're manifesting and you're attracting something that is good. And you also have to be sure of what it is you actually want, and also think through how you're going to get it. Because the way I thought about this phone, it was just me looking at it and being like, oh, it's nice, I like it, I want to get it. But it wasn't that it was important for me to get it. It wasn't a need, you know. Next point is, so you think through it before you actually manifest it. So you think through it. I think what I would advise you is to actually get a paper or a notebook and just write through the things you want, and then you see how to manifest them into your life. But you would rather think through it in your mind. If you don't want to write it somewhere, just think through it, but think through the way you will get it rather than just having it, because the way in which you will get it is also important. My next point, you need to have high vibrations when you get it. But because if you think through it and then you think, how will I get this that I actually need or actually I want, make sure that when you think through it, then you have high vibrations, high vibrations, because it's going to be much easier for you to get it when you have high vibrations that are good and intentionally good. Like one time, I watched a video on some lady who actually manifested getting $20,000, right? But the way she manifested that money into her life, she actually got an accident, and then she got a scar on her face. And then the accident wasn't like because of her, like it was caused by someone else. So when she sued that person in court, they were like, this is the settlement we have. And then she was like, no, this is a settlement we want. And then later on, that's when she realized, like, oh my God, I manifested this much money in my life, and this is how I got it. And I actually manifested it in form of me getting an accident. So you have to be intentional, careful, think through it, and then you decide on whether to attract it into your life and manifest it or not. Then another little story I have for you is last year when I came to China, I was thinking of going to Thailand and traveling there. So I had met a friend, and from that friend I made another friend. So the second friend, she had traveled to Thailand before, and she traveled there. I don't know if it was in her first year or I don't know exactly when. So she traveled there. Then I asked her like so many questions and what, and she told me like you have to have like 6,000 on your bank account. You have to have like your passport, a letter, and different things, right? So I thought about it and I was like, oh my God, it would be so exciting to go to Thailand. I would love to go to Thailand and what. Like all these thoughts were in my mind. But I didn't get to go to Thailand until I was in my third year. That's when I got to Thailand. So I went to Thailand in my third year and I was so happy about it. I was so excited. It was a gift from my parent and I loved it. I enjoyed the experience and everything, but it was for me in form of a manifestation, and a manifestation that I first thought about, attracted into my life, but then when it came in a good way and in an like a good intentional in form of a gift, and it also came during the right time for me mentally. Yeah, it came during the right time. Plus, I didn't actually ask my parent to give it to me. It was just a manifestation that I made, and then all of a sudden it just happened. So It just happened like after 2 years, yeah, from the year I had manifested it, after 2 years. So you have to be intentional when you're manifesting and be careful, because you may manifest yourself into an accident, and then something bad happens to you and you lose something, and then that's when you only realize it. So just be careful when manifesting or when attracting certain things into your life, including people. You may think you want this person into your life, but they're not good for you. This person is intoxicating, like there's just so much going on. Or you, like for example, the first story I've told you about the phone. So you just have to be careful when you're manifesting, and know that you can get what you want, but do it with the best intentions. Think through it, and be happy and have good vibrations within yourself to attract it. But you also have to let it go. For what I mean by this is, when you're manifesting something, you have to not think about it so much. Like, you just say, oh, you want this and that, how can you get it? You think through it, you be sure of what you want, then you think through it very well, and then later on you're like, okay, yes, I really need this. And then there and then you just relax, have relax with high vibrations. You have to first have vibrations of, you feel like you're there already, you feel like you're excited, you feel like you're grateful, you feel like it's all goodness around you. And then you just let it go, and don't think too much about it in form of like you're so desperate for it. And then there and then you can be able to get it. But to be sure of what you want is one of the most important parts of manifesting, because you may find yourself in scenarios you wish never happened to you. So thank you for listening to me. Tell me some of the manifestations you have manifested into your life, or what you have attracted into your life and it has come through manifestation, law of attraction. Yeah. Thank you. My name is Despo, and see you next time. Thank you.